What is up, E-Fam? Welcome back to the channel. It's your girl, Nanselly.
It's your boy, Gio. Welcome back to our channel. I know we've been gone for so long.
Yes.
But just know that family time is very important, and it's something that we should all take part of. Especially when the holidays are around the corner. You know, go out there, enjoy family, make some memories, and just, you know, have that in your catalog in your head that you've done this, and just, you know, live life a little bit.
I like mocking you.
I'm really speaking the truth. Like, it's just important, you know. So,
yes.
And you guys are really understanding too, because I did mention this before, and you guys, you know, we're positive about it, and you guys understand why we're not that consistent with these videos. We kind of take little breaks, because if you think about it, we haven't posted in 3 days, which is usually that's a lot for the YouTube world.
Yeah,
that's a lot for the YouTube world. So. You know, we're here, but we have been posting shorts because I have some in the cut. You know what I'm saying? So I throw some in there. But anyways, if you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys hit that like button.
Yes.
You guys, if you guys haven't subscribed, just so you guys know, eventually you guys are going to end up subscribing. So might as well just do it now.
Okay.
Because we're very likable people. We speak some facts.
Thank you.
We enjoy having deep conversations and just getting to know, you know, especially right now with this journey, the whole BTS journey that we're going through, and trying to find out about them, their strategies, like we're about to watch right now.
Yeah.
And just the story that they have, all of the hardships, all the accomplishments, all of the barriers that they had to go through to get to where they're at. Like,
right.
You know, and now, speaking of like the present day, I guess you could say, of everyone talking about their big comeback in 2026.
Ooh, that's exciting.
Supposedly around March, they're gonna have a tour or something like that.
Okay.
So I don't know. Maybe we're gonna get some new music before then. We don't know. But we do know that J-Hope is dropping a song this Friday. So we're gonna obviously do a dedicated reaction, just because it's a big day. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are ready for that, make sure you guys tune in, tap in, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification as well.
Yes.
All that stuff, man. You guys are very appreciated on this channel.
Yes.
We have to keep telling you guys, because this is not something that is just, you know, oh, come watch us because we want all the views. No. Like, I think we're building a really good community. We're building a good family. That's why we're called E-Family. So we're slowly building something that is, you know, potentially going to be massive one day, because the people that we're finding are the like-minded people that we've been searching for a long time. So, you know what I'm saying? So it's pretty cool to find everybody that is positive, outgoing, and just trying to better themselves every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Today we're going to be checking out the BTS military strategy and the ones who discredited it. This one's by Boracity magazine. Sorry about that. I'm excited. My breath right now. Let's get into it. I won't forget to put the screen, okay?
In South Korea, all able-bodied male citizens have to enlist in the military for 18 months before turning 28 years old. This, of course, includes K-pop singers. The 7 members of BTS at the peak of their careers enlisted in the military, serving from December of 2022 to June of 2025.
Isn't that pretty interesting how other countries have these
mandatory rules to follow? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's extreme.
Did you know about that?
Because of Catherine, yes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's our niece, the one that put us on to BTS.
Yeah.
But the reason I knew about this was because when I would watch people play StarCraft 2, which, you know, I have the games right here still, and, you know.
Yeah.
But a lot of the players were Korean that were really good at the game. So they would come to the U.S. to do, you know, games and just like compete against each other. So then, you know, they started live streaming Twitch and all that stuff, and we would watch them. I would watch them. And then, you know, they would always announce before they had to go to the military, or, you know, but that puts a big damp on their careers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it's like for example, for them, they're at their highest peak. And it's like, oh, damn, they have to go to the military for a few years. And that's crazy, like, you know, to think of, because if you think about that, it's like, just imagine as of today, I'm pretty sure that the songs that they made, you know, 5-6 years ago, these songs are still in the billboards, and they haven't been around like that.
Yeah.
You know, but there have been some solo projects that have come out, you know, with between that time frame, but for them to leave in that big hiatus in their career to now, you know, all the spectacs, everybody is going to be kind of noticing.
Yeah, because they're anticipating their comeback.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's going to be a big moment.
Definitely, yes.
I'm excited to see it because it's like one of those things where the underdog really like took over the industry.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. All right, let's go.
In the military, serving from December of 2022 to June of 2025.
You really do have to go back to Elvis Presley to think of a pop music act of this magnitude entering the military at the absolute peak of their popularity.
First, J-Hope and RM, the third and fourth oldest members, released solo albums. Soon after, Jin, the oldest member, enlisted. Meanwhile, J-Hope, Suga, and Jimin released solo projects. Later, the second and third oldest members enlisted. Meanwhile, the younger members released solo projects. Then the younger members enlisted all together. For 6 months, all of the BTS members...
If you think about that strategy...
That was an awesome play.
Yeah, huh?
Yeah.
And it's like in between time, it's like the teammate is going to hold it down for that season.
Yeah, to stay relevant and active with the army and in the world in general.
That is a play right there.
So that's strategy.
That's fire.
Strategy.
Members were in the military, but they released pre-recorded albums and music videos, so it was like they never left. After these 6 months, Jin, the oldest member, was discharged, and he released a solo project. Then J-Hope was discharged, and both members released more solo projects. Soon after, the younger members were all discharged from active duty, and Suga finished his social service, which lasts 21 months instead of 18 because of a shoulder injury. And in no time, the 7 BTS members reunited and started working on their group comeback in June of 2025. Despite not being 7, during these 2.5 years, BTS had new music out at all times. They were unable to release music as a group, but they were solo artists under the same BTS label, and they even promoted themselves as members of BTS. All of this while their bandmates...
That's awesome. So with people that did not know who BTS is in general, by them hearing, let's say, RM, solo project, they are thinking, wow, this is BTS.
Yeah, because they present themselves as that. Wow.
Even though, it's a solo project.
Yeah.
But that's how I love this. That's how they all have that's why it's OT7, period. Yeah. Like, you can't pick and choose on who's the best. I think they all give 150% of their energy, time. Yeah. And love to each other and the army.
And they trust themselves because that's a lot of trust to put into another member to hold it down.
Yeah, to trust that you're not going to take that achievement and let it get to your head and leave us out to dry.
Like, they're really a team that's united and they don't put no one above each other. It seems like they're all... You know, they all have
they're next to each other,
Yeah, but what I really like about them, honestly, is the way that their strategy is, which we all know, everybody knows. RM is the leader of the group. But they all understand that, and no one tries to overstep that. Because it's like everybody's playing their role so perfectly that it's like, matter. Why? You know, like, I'm really, like, in this, like, all-star team right here. Yeah. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah. Without any of them, the group will fall because they're all that important in the group. You know, do that make sense?
I don't think they would fall, to be honest. Maybe, but maybe not. Because then again, let's say if someone leaves, that would be kind of like, you know, very like kind of like
devastating.
Like, I don't think we would ever see that.
That's
but
what
I'm just saying. Yeah, but I'm just saying like a hypothetical. You know, like what if that was to happen? Because you never know. But the way that they show this, they're really not gonna do that.
That's what I'm saying.
No, yeah, I know, but I was just giving that example of a hypothetical. I understand what you're saying.
I don't like your hypothetical.
No, I know. I don't. Like
I just wanted to leave it at the fact that without any of them, it wouldn't be what it is.
Okay, let me clarify. I don't like that either. I do not like that because.
Then don't say it.
No, I'm just playing the devil's advocate in one kind of a sense.
Throwing you
because I'm just trying to like kind of see it like. The devastation that would happen because it's OT7, like you said. Like, we support every single one of them solo, together. Like, you know, and it would just kind of be a big twist in our minds if that was to ever happen. Right. So, you know, but I'm not saying it's not gonna happen.
All right, no more negative talk.
I'm not being negative. I'm just saying. You guys understand. I don't know what's going on here. I was kidding. I'm just kidding.
In the military. This strategy is surprisingly rare in K-pop. The members of male K-pop groups don't tend to enlist together. Instead, they each wait for the moment they turn 28 to enlist, leaving their groups incomplete for many years. This is basically the main reason why so many people applaud BTS. They did not just enlist together, but they also schedule solo releases right after the other, and they even prepared a lot of music for the 6 months while they were all serving. This strategy maintained the fandom entertained, and it even made the members more popular than they already were while promoting as BTS. That should be the end of it, but it's not. After BTS reunited in June of 2025, many started complimenting them on their effective strategy, their strong bond, and the sacrifices they made to stay as a group. But some K-pop fans believe they should not get this recognition because they were not the first group to enlist together. Therefore, they didn't do anything extraordinary. This really caught my attention because as someone who has been following BTS for a long time, I was surprised to learn that there were actually other K-pop groups that enlisted in the way BTS did. I thought, who are they? Because they are definitely not the biggest groups in K-pop. To the contrary, BTS's strategy was so unbelievable that even hopeful BTS fans were trying to calculate other scenarios in which BTS could go to the military. If they enlisted one by one, they would be reunited in 7 years.
Isn't that crazy? Like, everyone's like trying to figure out how to, you know, like
how to get them in there fast.
Yeah.
And get them back.
Yeah.
One by one? Crazy. No way.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah.
Meaning 2029. This was the biggest fear.
That's crazy.
So like many other successful K-pop groups.
Because imagine until 2029.
That's insane.
That's a big gap that can kind of lose that momentum.
Yeah.
Unless you're an army that wants to see that happen. But dude, yeah, they
But that's why that's why they're who they are. Yeah. You know, they strategize perfectly.
Damn. That's crazy.
Some fans hoped that 3 or 4 members could keep the group alive with subunits. Others were hopeful to see BTS release music with 1, 2, or 3 members missing at times. Others hope for the members closing age to enlist together, so they have a 5-year hiatus instead of a 7-year hiatus. My point is that before 2022, no one was thinking about BTS's actual strategy being a possibility. It was that rare. So why are so many people claiming that BTS's strategy was not extraordinary? To get my answer, I looked into the groups that did it first, and after doing so, I realized that BTS's strategy was even more unbelievable than I thought it was. Whenever BTS fans mention that BTS's strategy was extraordinary and very effective, some K-pop fans go on and on about how this was not an unbelievable plan. So I looked into the other groups people claim did it first, and it turns out that they are correct. Other groups enlisted in similar ways to BTS before BTS. However, I realized that for BTS, this was a difficult decision and a very complex strategy to plan. Meanwhile, the few groups that enlisted in a similar way didn't have to plan or decide much. Let's look at some examples. On and Off is a K-pop boy group under WM Entertainment, a relatively medium label. They were a 7-member group, but one of them left, so they are 6 now. From these 6 members, 1 is Japanese, so he doesn't need to enlist. That leaves 5 members. In November of 2021, the group's leader announced that the 5 Korean members will enlist together. A month later, 1 member enlisted on December 21st, 2 other members enlisted on the 27th, and the 2 last members enlisted on the 28th. The enlisted members even performed together in a military event. This plan was great. Their hiatus was very short, and they reunited after 2 years. So this strategy was very smart. But also, it was pretty much their only choice. The Korean members are so close in age that even if they enlisted when they each turned 28, their hiatus would have been the same as BTS's, very short. The one who made the biggest sacrifice was the youngest member who enlisted 2 years before his deadline. But the other members were pretty much in the typical enlistment age range for K-pop stars. Either the youngest member enlists early with the others, or he would be the only one left out. So the members definitely had to talk about it and choose to prioritize the group. But this outcome was not unbelievable. All the Korean members were born within the same year and a half. Meanwhile, the BTS members have an age difference of 5 years.
That's crazy. So they tried to, well, they did do it pretty much before, but it just didn't work out in their favor. I wonder why. Because she didn't say why, huh?
No.
If you guys could let us know in the comments, I know you guys know. I know you guys know this stuff.
And you're asking what? I'm sorry?
That why it didn't work for that group.
I'm
on
sorry.
And off.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, she did not say that.
Yeah. So if you guys can, please let me know. Or maybe she's going to talk about it. Maybe I'm speaking too soon. But I just I'm curious about that, you know? Because if they did the same thing, but obviously it was on their favor because they were closer in age, like what happened? Like why?
Maybe the other guy was not releasing music?
Maybe.
That was a difference with BTS?
Maybe. Well, yeah, because BTS was more,
Another example to on and off that K-pop stans mention a lot is Shinhwa. By 2007, each of the 6 members of Shinhwa created their own labels to promote a solo artist, which they did until they started enlisting one by one. The difference with BTS is that during this military period, there was no music, group, or solo. However, I have to highlight that this was probably the best decision for them because they are very close in age. BTS, like many other K-pop groups with many members, are not. That's why this strategy was surprising to see in BTS, but not in this group. It was actually expected. Like on and off, there was no big sacrifice. They simply followed the law. Highlight, formerly known as Beast, are also very close in age, so they enlisted when it was time for them to enlist. While serving, one member left the group. So after a 2.5-year hiatus, they had a comeback as
this is the second group that one member leaves the group.
Yeah, and I think that could have been potentially the downfall, because we just said that. If this was, negativity talking again, but if it's like that can kill the group because it's like we like them for them, all 7 members. So figure it out, type thing.
Yeah.
And that's why, if you remember that video or when I told you that, they have arguments and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, they talk it out and they figure things out and they don't leave things, anger or upset. You get what
they don't go to sleep angry.
Yeah, type thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, interesting, huh?
Yeah, you see?
As
a 4-member group. Once again, this strategy was not a decision, it was just the law. Another similar example to the previous groups is 2PM. The 5 Korean members of the 6-member group enlisted when it was time for each of them to enlist.
This is another group.
Yeah, 2PM.
And one of them left, it seems like, right? Is that what she said, or am I tripping?
5 Korean members of the 6-member group enlisted when it was time for each of them to enlist. Because of their proximity.
She said 5 of the 6.
Another similar example to the previous groups is 2PM. The 5 Korean members of the 6-member group enlisted when it was time for each of them to enlist. Because of their proximity in age, they finished their military service in a span of 3 years. Despite their short hiatus, they didn't prioritize the group. Instead, they had one comeback and then they focused on their solo careers.
You see?
Another group people say enlisted together is SKYE. By December of 2018, SKYE had 4 members and 3 of them enlisted together because they were very close in age. The oldest member was actually about to turn 29 when he enlisted, but he still made sure to enlist by 28. The other 2 members enlisted just in time, only some months before their 28th birthday. In other words, they enlisted together because it was time for them to enlist. Meanwhile, the youngest member released solo music and became a member of another group. So after the older members were discharged, they reunited quickly, and soon after, the youngest member.
So what is that this is really teaching me a lot of why their bond and the brotherhood is important, even when it comes to trying to succeed as an idol.
Yeah, I guess for BTS, it's not money over everything.
Mm-hmm.
It's, loyalty
Yeah. Because they've been through it all together. Yeah. And they've always had each other's back. And, I mean, you know, they've really been through it all.
That's crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
Enlisted. This left the group incomplete for almost 5 years. Although this turned out great for them, I think we cannot include this group in this list. This strategy was not intentionally followed for the longevity of the group. Each member enlisted when they had to enlist, and the group was incomplete for many years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Another group some people like to mention enlisted together is TVXQ. And while that is true, there is only 2 members in this group. One member enlisted in July of 2015 and the other enlisted in November of 2015. Some months after their discharge, they released their comeback album. So as a group part of a Big 3 label, they did benefit from enlisting together, but the plan was not as complex as BTS's. SKYE, formerly known as Into It, is a K-pop male group formed under MMO Entertainment, a small/medium label now known as Wake One. They debuted as an 8-member group in 2017. A member left in 2018, another member left in 2019, and in 2020, the remaining 6 members announced they would continue the group independently. But because of the COVID pandemic, the Korean members decided to instead enlist together in November and December of 2020. This was the most surprising example I could find, because like BTS, the members are not that close in age. The youngest member was enlisting almost 3 years before his deadline. So why are we not hearing more about this? When people talk about how amazing BTS strategy is, the conversation is mostly about how beneficial this is for the longevity of the group. This strategy allows the public to 1. Not forget about them because there's constant new music, and 2. Make the group reunion happen as soon as possible. However, SKYE became an independent group and then enlisted altogether. They were discharged in 2022, and since then, they haven't released any music as a group. They only held a couple of fan meetings without their Malaysian member. By the time I'm making this video, it's been 3 years since they were discharged. Just so you have an idea, after this group was discharged, BTS enlisted, released solo music, were discharged, reunited, and worked on their comeback album. During this time, this group only released vlogs and short videos.
No one ever left the group.
On this one? Yeah, it started as a big group.
No, on BTS.
Oh, yeah.
No one ever left the group.
Yeah.
Throughout it all.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that is building their bond so much stronger.
Right.
It's kind of like taking it back to, let's say, our personal life. It's kind of like marriage, if you really think about it.
Yeah.
You know, we go through the ups and downs. We go through different things every single day. And throughout that, it's like...
And no one leaves.
Yeah. And it's like, well, some people do, but I'm just saying, like, the strong survive. Yeah. No, and it's important to point that out because this is why it's pretty cool to hear about this and kind of gives me that relatability that we have in our lives when it comes to that bondness, that, no, we're going to work this out. We're going to talk about this. We're going to figure this out.
Yeah.
And this is because as a unit, we're really strong together.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So...
Yes.
It, like, when I hear stuff like this is the reason why I like checking out these videos, because I find the little relatabilities that we have with BTS, you know?
Yes.
Because, you know, and like I said, you know, these are things that we talk about usually on Saturdays when we're live and stuff like that. We just have those deep conversations of, like, you know, just what we go through every day, how to get better, what we've done. And just, you know, those little things like that I think that you guys would low-key enjoy. You know what I'm saying? But we get down. She has no confidence. Why do you?
What I'm guessing is that because
I'm my mouth on you.
Whoa.
I'm just
Tune
kidding.
In next year because we're not doing any lives right now.
Got lucky, you see?
Yeah. And I did it on purpose. I'm just kidding.
Wow.
It's a strategy. It's a strategy. I'm just kidding.
Strategy,
yeah. No, but it's pretty dope to have these conversations because, you know, I'm telling you, the bond that they have shows us a lot because, you know.
It's like, true. It's true.
It's literally through every single moment in life.
And every type of relationship. It doesn't have to be like, you know, a group. It could be any type of relationship as long as you know, have that bond, that loyalty, that, you know, you put each other above anything, including for them would be money, including fame, you know, and opportunities that I'm sure they get.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure they offer millions to just leave the group and be solo and promising.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? But loyalty.
And that's so amazing that you said that too, because it kind of gives you that perspective of like, they started off as 7 with a little company, and they know the amount of success that they were able to do and get to, that it's like, why would we kind of mess up the play here? Like, this is what we've been doing.
Yeah.
Sheesh. That's wild, huh? Wow.
Don't have a label, they cannot enjoy the benefits of enlisting at the same time. Back in 2020, when they announced their enlistment, some fans were scared of this strategy because without a label and with how fast the K-pop industry goes, a complete absence may work against them. So they did go and return together, but the outcome did not happen. Their fans are still waiting for an actual comeback. The reason why I analyzed these groups' enlistments is because I wanted to understand the reason why this strategy was so shocking when BTS did it and not them. The simplest answer, of course, is that BTS is the biggest group. So when they do it, it becomes news. But I believe that answer erases BTS's efforts. Like I already explained, these groups enlisted together because they had no other choice. They are so close in age that whether they decided to prioritize the group or disband and go solo, they would have still enlisted almost all together. But this lucky situation is not common in K-pop. The 7 examples I gave may seem like a lot, but they are actually nothing. The other hundreds of K-pop groups disband before enlistment or enlist at different times. Actually, the examples I showed were so rare that it was hard for me to find them because a lot of the examples K-pop fans gave turned out to be false. I saw people mentioning EXO, but they were incomplete for 6 years because of their military service. Others mentioned Super Junior, but they were incomplete for 9 years. Mentioning them as examples of groups that follow this military strategy before BTS is just disingenuous or completely misunderstanding BTS's plan.
That's
After
insane.
my research, I can say that the only group that intentionally went out of their way to follow a similar strategy to BTS before BTS was SKYE, a group that similarly doesn't have the resources to have a comeback and enjoy the benefits of this enlistment strategy.
Damn, that sucks. They don't have the resources to be able to do that.
That's so sad.
That is sad.
And the fans couldn't come together?
It's because there's only certain armies, certain, fandoms that can do that. Because if you think about it, the time that the army gives to BTS is out of this world. Because if you really think about it, we've seen a lot of situations where, it's like there's, their music videos, they have a show, they have like all of these different things that... Wait, what am I talking about? I lost my train of thought. I lost my train of thought right now. What are we talking about?
You made me lose my train of thought because you lost your train of thought.
You're lying. Damn, I really lost my train of thought. It's because I saw you doing this, so I don't know if like you were getting like a sneeze attack or something or what happened.
And that made you...
Yeah, I lost my train of thought in that moment because I'm like, oh, like, am I going to have to pause the video, type thing? Because you were like this, so I don't know, like...
Great. Yeah, miss?
Dang. Okay, maybe if I listen to... what were we talking about?
SKYE, a group that similarly doesn't have the resources to have...
Oh, like having the resources to come back?
About the army, like you were saying that how not a lot of fandom people could come and they do what BTS, what they do for BTS, and I'm like... Because it's a lot of, like...
That's time.
They even feed people, like they do a lot with the money that they get, you know, like if they see them do something, they go and follow suit, they don't have that
following. And the most precious thing that the army does is give them their time, which is listening to music, watching their music videos, the shows that they have
their
and stuff
lives,
like that. And then just to support them when they drop an album, or they like to listen to the music to make sure that they're on the Billboard charts and all of these things that they do, because it's like in our reality they don't have to do that, but they choose to do that because they want to see you know, BTS succeed.
Yeah.
And as ARMY members, like, they're gonna do their part.
Right. That's crazy.
Wow.
You see? And that's why they are successful.
Yeah.
Have a comeback
Really.
and enjoy the benefits of this enlistment strategy. When I come across these conversations, I personally feel a sentiment of rejection to BTS's efforts by K-pop fans. According to them, BTS fans are insufferable for giving them so much credit. Some even say that BTS fans have K-pop history ignorance. But what about the media's reaction and the strategy's impact in the K-pop industry? If so many groups did it first, why was it not revolutionary back then? Like I mentioned, it was not revolutionary because this plan was some groups' only choice, and the ones who actually chose this strategy didn't receive the same benefits. So how can you really say that others successfully did it first? Some people like mentioning that other groups didn't have the resources and dedicated fanbase to release solo music in a schedule similar to BTS's, and that is completely true. But why is BTS's sacrifice being erased in this entire conversation? No other group had to go through what BTS went through to make this plan a reality, yet they still chose it. In 2021, BTS was at the peak of their careers. They established themselves as not just the biggest group in the world, but also as one of the biggest artists at the moment. But this was not supposed to happen. Jin, the oldest member of BTS, was turning 28 in December of 2020, meaning that he had to enlist in the military. His birthday was on a Friday. So on Tuesday of that same week, South Korea's parliament rushed to announce a revision of the country's Military Service Act. This lets K-pop stars postpone their military service until they turn 30, but only if they have received an Order of Cultural Merit, a medal awarded by the president. BTS has been the only K-pop group ever to receive this medal, making the public name this revision the...
They changed the law for BTS.
No.
No.
They said for K-pop members, they could push it to 30 only if they have a certain medal.
But the only ones that had that medal.
They do.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So they did not change it for them. They just happened to be
the
that
only
great.
Ones.
Yeah. That great that they were awarded that medal.
Mm-hmm. Just so they could do that.
I don't think it was for them to do that. No. It was just awarded to them and they happened to have it. So he could go in by 30.
What?
That's how I understand. Let us know.
Let us know. Hold on, I gotta run this one back.
Yeah, run it back.
Yeah.
Baloney.
2020.
Baloney.
He had to enlist in the military. His birthday was on a Friday. So on Tuesday of that same week, South Korea's parliament rushed to announce a revision of the country's Military Service Act. This lets K-pop stars postpone their military service until they turn 30, but only if they have received an Order of Cultural Merit, a medal awarded by the president. BTS has been the only K-pop group ever.
Did I miss it? Or did...
It was right there. You didn't hear it?
No, but...
So it says, this is the law. K-pop, not just BTS, K-pop entertainers who have received government medals for helping spread or elevate the country's culture influence, they get that medal. Mm-hmm. All 7 members of BTS, they got that medal already.
Yeah, but I also heard a part where she said that someone rushed to, like, kind of change that.
No one rushed.
Well, okay, maybe.
Okay, stop it when you hear that.
Was turning 28 in December of 2020, meaning that he had to enlist in the military. His birthday was on a Friday. So on Tuesday of that same week, South Korea's parliament rushed to announce a revision of the country's military service.
Rush to announce, not to change anything. Rush to announce because he was about to enlist on that day. So they, when they say they revision, they reviewed. Don't do that. They reviewed the law, and the conclusion of after reviewing the law is that he could relist until he's 30 if he has that medal. So they did not rush to change it. They rushed to announce. They rushed to like recheck it. Yes.
Okay.
Can you understand?
Yeah, but don't you think since they kind of rushed to it that they did it because he was turning 28 and because that's what I got from it.
Yeah, he was turning 28 on Friday.
Yeah, but they rushed it to make sure that this happens, no?
No, he still had time to enlist that Tuesday before he turned 28. But that same Tuesday, they rushed to review the act, the law.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But they did not rush to change it for him. They just rushed to review it to see if it's 100% factual for him to enroll himself before he turns 28.
No, I don't think you're understanding. I really think... Okay, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but
You're wrong.
No, what are you talking about? Because... Wait, no. Okay, we're going to watch this whole thing back.
Still chosen. In 2021, BTS was at the peak of their careers. They established themselves as not just the biggest group in the world, but also as one of the biggest artists at the moment. But this was not supposed to happen. Jin, the oldest member of BTS, was turning 28 in December of 2020, meaning that he had to enlist in the military. His birthday was on a Friday. So on Tuesday of that same week, South Korea's parliament rushed to announce a revision of the country's Military Service Act. This lets K-pop stars postpone their military service until they turn 30.
Don't you feel like that
No.
because I feel like it is, because I feel like BTS was so amazing and they got this award that they made this law like change because they're pretty much, I don't know, like I feel like it was for them and they were able to be the ones that changed the law. Let me see.
Definitely no.
BTS change the law about
Joining military.
No, BTS did not change the law. But the 2020 revision to South Korea Military Service Act, often called the BTS law, allowed K-pop stars like them to postpone their military service until the age of 30. So they did.
No, they did not. They called it the BTS law because of them. They reviewed the law, which it opened people's eyes to realize that it doesn't have to be by 28. K-pop stars, idols, they have that green light to do it until they're 30.
And they found that in the law already?
That's been in the law, but because they did this for BTS, they call it.
Wow.
That's what it is.
Oh my God. So, wow. So somebody did this like crazy research to find this in a fine print. And
right.
It kind of was like, okay, like, wait, wrong.
Yeah, because they wanted, let's say, I want you to say so bad, so I'm going to find a little way to figure out where I could find a way to keep you a little longer. Mm-hmm. And then that's what they did. So that's why they call it BTS. Because of you, I'm going to call it Edwin Law. Because of you, I went extra hard
to find it.
So now because of you, people have that leverage of going when they're 30. Mm-hmm. So now it's the BTS law. But they did not change the law. It was just in the fine print.
But only if they have received an Order of Cultural Merit.
God, that's how I start conversations all the time.
But is that wrong though? Like,
no, it's not.
A question, man. If I don't understand something, no. I'm not trying
hold on.
Wait, what?
No, you're trying to fight the truth.
No, I'm not. This is me just questioning things because I like if I'm gonna obviously learn something and I have a question about it, I'm not just gonna be like, oh, okay. It's like, no, I have a question. Like, wait, am I not understanding this
you're
or
right.
what's going on? You know,
you're valid.
I just have questions, man.
Let me have questions. I'm sorry. You're right.
Oh, I missed it.
that's
I break
by
my
the
fingers.
president. BTS has been the only K-pop group ever to receive this medal, making the public name this revision the BTS law, since it was basically created just for them.
If you
they are literally
the
only ones who meet the criteria. So as BTS continue releasing
I know, but they meet the criteria.
Right.
The only ones.
Yeah,
literally.
because they got the medal, all 7 of them. Mm-hmm. Yes.
They are literally the only ones who meet the criteria. So as BTS continued releasing music and having massive success all throughout 2021, South Korea's lawmakers started debating about a possible military exemption for recording artists who have extraordinary impact globally. But something to note here is that the debate was really about BTS only. BTS broke massive barriers for K-pop artists to participate in the Western music industry since 2017, but the most popular K-pop idols were enlisting in the military all these years and no one was debating a K-pop exemption. Government officials only started considering a K-pop exemption because the 2 extra years they gave BTS were not enough. Jen was soon turning 30 and BTS's popularity didn't die down. Instead, it increased astronomically. So the meetings for a possible exemption for extraordinary artists like BTS started, and they were an absolute mess. BTS and their label decided to not get involved at all. Remember that the public was really divided about this topic, and many considered this preferential treatment. So the ones debating BTS's future and advocating in favor of military exemptions for K-pop artists were actually government officials and other K-pop labels. Busan's mayor, the Culture, Sports and Tourism Minister, the representative of the People Power Party, and other government officials wanted BTS to serve through an alternative program similar to athletes and classical musicians. But the criteria for this would have most likely been the same as for the 2-year postponement. And that was a big part of the debate. It was beneficial for K-pop labels to support BTS's exemption because their K-pop groups may also get an exemption. The problem was that BTS's achievements were too extraordinary, and no K-pop group could even meet the criteria for the 2-year postponement.
They set the bar really high.
Yeah, definitely they did. Of course they did.
Dang.
May also get an exemption. The problem was that BTS's achievements were too extraordinary, and no K-pop group could even meet the criteria for the 2-year postponement. 26 K-pop labels, including the big 3 agencies SM, JYP, and YG Entertainment, filed an objection to the Ministry of National Defense represented by the Korea Music Content Association. They said the amendment was unrealistic and unfair, saying it...
They were hating, huh?
Of course.
It's like, we don't have them, so they can't do that type thing.
That's crazy.
That's messed up.
Of course.
Imagine, you already know you're not liked by the music industry. Obviously, your fans love you guys, but you're not liked by the industry, but you are seeing this firsthand when they start objecting to something that could benefit you and your career. And not only your career, but also just to get their music from Korea out to the US, out into the global scale, you know?
Yeah.
Because, you know, it's kind of like a Latin artist, you know, when, let's say, Bad Bunny is out here and he goes to other places. It's like, people don't know Spanish, but they just love his music and they enjoy it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's the same for us. Like, we get to know them. We don't know that language, but we like it and we listen to it. You know what I'm saying?
It is encouraging to learn. And here and there we learn certain words.
Yeah. Little by little, by little. And I'm learning the melodies right now of their songs. Like, I kind of know what they're saying, obviously in the English parts, but then in the other ones, I just kind of like mimic what I hear just to kind of have that sound. So it's kind of one of those things where I would have to read it, let's say when I'm watching a music video, read what they're saying so I could understand that I said that, but, you know, if that
I
makes
get what
sense.
you're saying.
Just to know what it means,
I just got to remember to press my translating button.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, shout outs to that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go.
It is near impossible for K-pop musicians to qualify before the age of 28. And that is true. BTS were actually too young to receive the Order of Cultural Merit in 2018, but the president gave them the medal as an exception because their achievements were truly extraordinary, never seen before in history. The K-pop labels said they were not blindly asking to lower the standards, but instead for the ministry to come up with standards that are not this extraordinary. In other words, K-pop labels were not asking to lower the standard, they were just asking to lower the standard. So picture this, K-pop labels advocated for military exemptions for BTS and other non-extraordinary musicians. Some lawmakers were advocating for only BTS to receive exemptions because their cities and government projects benefit from BTS only. other lawmakers were against BTS and any K-pop artists receiving military exemptions. The public was divided, BTS was quiet, and BTS's label only asked lawmakers to reach a decision. But look at all of this mess. Even the ones agreeing to give BTS an exemption debated about the alternative service. Would it be a full exemption or a partial exemption? Should they perform and serve in the military at the same time, or should they serve in the military for a shorter period of time? There were many meetings, but instead of coming up with decisions, they announced delayed after delayed.
So it's like they're over here trying to figure this out, and it's like they're getting older, so it's like I'm pretty sure they're like, let's just enlist. Let's get this over with, you know? Like,
yeah, they're taking so long.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Then, all the BTS members decided to terminate their 2-year postponement and enlist in the military. After this decision, the government stopped debating about a possible military exemption for K-pop artists because it was about BTS this entire time. What I'm trying to say is that while all of these K-pop labels begged for a 2-year postponement for the members of their groups, BTS, the only ones with an actual chance to receive exemptions, quit all of that. They said, thank you for the 2-year extension, but we're enlisting together either way. The younger members could have actually waited for the older members to enlist, have a full group comeback and a tour, and then go to the military when it was their time to go, prioritizing their personal lives and even solo careers. But they didn't. They enlisted together and up to 4 years earlier because they thought about the longevity of the group. It was not just luck or the privilege of pre-recording and releasing multiple solo projects during these 3 years. They chose their own future together when their own government and the K-pop industry were trying to play with it. That sacrifice is the essence
That's how they hold hands.
Oh, yeah.
Infinity.
The unity. Infinity.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
wow.
fine.
That's crazy, huh?
Industry were trying to play with it. That sacrifice is the essence of the BTS strategy.
Damn, I have yet to catch one of these lives. I've been wanting to, but I never get to catch them on Weavers. But
sometimes BTS just do things
I'm gonna catch up to that.
Yeah.
But this is a pretty interesting video to watch because just learning about the unity they have, learning about the brotherhood they have, learning about how they're going to stay with each other and go through all of the hardships together, whether it's with the government, with the people, the music industry. Like, they are BTS and they're gonna stick around together for a long time.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And like I said, this aligns so well with a lot of the stuff that we preach on this channel, because it's very beautiful to see stuff like this, because it kind of gives us that hope and that understanding that there is like people out there that have the same type of mindset, that understand that it's important to be true to yourself, have an understanding, and if you have a family, grow that bond, and together you guys are going to be able to pretty much break through any barriers possible,
Yeah, that's true.
And that's something that we talk about a lot here.
Yeah.
And the strategies that mainly you have, you're a very smart person, you're very intellectual, and I know you guys don't see it on camera because you're a little bit shy on camera, but I gotta give you so much props because obviously all of the lessons that you learned from your mom, you're pretty much teaching our kids, you're teaching even me, because I learn from everybody every day. So to get these understandings and have this type of relationship that we have with our family is pretty cool.
Yeah, definitely. It's awesome.
Yeah, because when I first saw this video, I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I adapted to them quick because the same values and all of the stuff I pretty much heard from you, or we learned together, or we grew together, and it was kind of like, whoa, like we literally live by this. Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Like we're seeing this. They're the underdogs. They get doubted, but no matter what doubts there are, you're able to kind of shake those things off, focus up on what's important, and that's the unity of your family, and push through those barriers to try to succeed every day, learn every day. and things like that, you know?
Yeah, that's true. Definitely just like that. That's why you love them so much.
Yeah, and I really do. And I'm excited because the next video is going to be a sugar video. So stay tuned. That's going to come out on Saturday. So everybody, just know it's going to be dope. We had to, postpone them for a little bit, but,
Yeah.
it's going to be pretty dope. I'm excited.
Same.
But let us know what you guys think in this video. Make sure you guys hit that like button. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like this video as always, and we'll catch you guys in the next one.
Peace.